So when I was 15, I always lacked the confidence to stand out in a room. I always lacked my physical capabilities or never felt up to par with my peers, right? Comparison is the thief of joy, and I always had this unhealthy habit of comparing. See, this is me in 2018. I was about 245 pounds. I was obese. I was out of shape. And I was constantly never feeling like I stood out. So I was overweight, and I would always compare my weight to other people around me, and it would always make me feel like I was degrading myself. And I always found myself trying not to shine bright and always try to suppress myself as a man, suppress myself physically by wearing big sweatshirts and wearing big t-shirts and kind of just not allowing myself to stand out. And what that ultimately led me is to a state of just lack of self-love. I lacked the confidence. I lacked all the abilities to stand out and have light in my body or towards my body and myself because I lack the confidence in the world today. So I'm gonna make a video for the person that I wish I was 5 years ago. So this is how to rebuild confidence through the gym, and that's exactly what I did the last few years. So you can see right here, I'm about 245 pounds, and now today I'm able to step out, show off my body, be confident, and show my emotions, shine bright in a room, right? I feel like I know I can stand out and be that light in someone's world. Back then, I would suppress myself because that's because I wasn't confident in my physical well-being. So this is gonna be a step-by-step guide on how to go from point A, which is me here, to point B. All right. So first and foremost, you have to find the root problem. If you don't know the root problem, or if you even know that it's a problem in general and how to figure it out or attack that problem, how do you expect to fix it? All right, so you have to know why your confidence shattered in the first place. For me, I knew my confidence shattered because I was just out. I was out of shape. I was big, so I was constantly comparing myself to other people's physiques, and I was always comparing myself to others, which always led me to be a level below. I always thought myself to be a level below, so I never even tried to go above because I never thought it was possible, right? And that's not always gonna be the case for everyone. Some people are going to lack confidence in their speech, right? When they're talking to people in public or they don't feel as outgoing as others, they're not going to feel like speaking up. They're not going to feel confident in speaking up, right? Some people might just lack the ability to. They feel like they can't dress the right way, or they feel like they can't work out like the right way in the gym, right? Whatever the case may be, everyone's confidence is going to be a different level that they have to work on, or a different perspective that they have to work on. So find what your root cause is. All right. So biggest thing is I lost trust in myself, right? I lost trust in myself to keep the promise of actually losing weight. And once I lost trust in myself and I kept breaking these promises over and over again, it was so hard to build on anything. All right. So once you put trust in yourself and you can keep promises, it's going to be easier to start to attack that root problem. For me, it was to lose weight. For whatever you guys is, whatever that confidence that you need to build in at your exact position in your life, you have to hold a promise to yourself and you have to show up every single day. So it always starts with trusting your ability. All right. And like I said earlier, comparison is a thief of joy. So you have to cut out all external validation. All right. You have to cut out all the outside noise. You have to cut out whatever people think about you, whatever the perspective is you have about others that think about you. Cut that shit out. Because at the end of the day, it does not matter. This is you lack the confidence. You yourself lack the confidence. You have to know to build your self love back up and have your self worth so that confidence built up. Someone else can't feed into your own self worth. You have to build your self worth up. So you have to learn how to approve your body. You have to learn how to approve your speech. You have to learn how to approve your way you dress. Whatever the case may be, you have to decide to love yourself and put yourself first. All right. And when you don't break the promises, when you shut out the external noise and you just keep the promise to yourself, the confidence will come. Second, you have to find that first win, right? And once you get that first win, you got to build momentum through it. All right, so building momentum through movement. It's like the law of inertia. An object at rest is at rest until it has something that moves it, and once it starts to move, it's the snowball effect. It's the same way with building your confidence, right? Through the gym, I found the spark that starts the fire. That was the spark, right? And it led to the fire burning larger and larger and larger. And the first workout is that first initial law of inertia that started the ball moving. right? Because it started to make me show that I can show up. It started to show me that I can't break promises. It started to show me that I was capable of more. See, and once you show up in the gym, that's your first win, right? Because the gym is going to humble you. The gym is going to show you what you need to work on. The gym is going to show you what you're good at. And there's so much that comes from the gym, but it's easy to have self love because you are learning to outgrow or become a new version of yourself through the gym physically, spiritually, and mentally. All right. And it's not just about the intensity in the gym, right? I can go to the gym to this day and still suffer the same as I did the first week to the gym. But it's about showing up again and again and again, and that process never changed, right? You're going to always have to show up again, and once you start to show up again and again and again, you kept a promise to yourself. You are now a trustworthy individual, not for other people, but for yourself. For yourself, and once you show up again and again, you now can trust your ability to do something and stand out in a room. And it's just it's a powerful tool, right? Exercise is a powerful tool. It's therapeutic. That's why, for me, I started getting into it for a therapeutic reason. And every time I did a rep in the gym, every time I showed up for a workout, it gave me proof that I was capable to do whatever I wanted to do. Because the gym was challenging, and it was something that ultimately was difficult in the beginning. I would wake up sore, I'd wake up tired, I'd do things I never wanted to do ever in my life, considering I was always larger, so I was lazy. But once I did that, it gave me proof that I can do what I said I wanted to do. And the same can be said with you guys, right? You can use the gym in the same aspect. You can show up when you don't want to show up. You can do the gym, you can work out and do every single rep, even when you're tired, even when you're exhausted, and that's going to build up that self love that you always lacked. So, third, and I believe this is one of the most important pillars because this is when things start to get hard, you have to enjoy the process, right? And this is pushing past your limits. So, the goal for this is you have to prove to yourself that you are no longer the person who gives up when it gets hard. Me personally, I was lazy. I always chose easy decisions. I always chose the easiest route of life. And what that gave to me is what happened to me is when everything would ever get hard, I would always give up because I chose the easy decisions, right? I wasn't capable of making hard decisions. I wasn't capable of doing hard things in life. And what that led me is in a life of, or a pit of easiness, right? But once I started to do things and pushing past my limits of doing things hard, then I was able to have an easy life because hard things were ultimately easy. And now my life was just easier. And the same could be said with the gym, right? I started to prove to myself that when I was tired, when I was exhausted, I was breaking down that Isaiah who would make only easy decisions. I was capable of doing harder things. I was capable of eating the food that I wanted to not eat at the moment, but it made me eat the frog and do things that are hard, right? And now I'm able to have an easier life. When I was able to pick up heavier weight, that showed me that I was able to do harder things over and over again. It led to me having an easier life because the weight I did before was now easy, right? Every time you go for one more rep, every time you go for one more PR, every time you try to add weight and progressively overload every single muscle you have in your body, you're proving you're something to your old self. You are literally killing off your old self and growing into the new version you've always wanted to be. So you have to use the gym as a physical and mental tool to kill off your old self and become a new you. All right, resistance in the gym mirrors resistance in your life. It's the same example I just said, but when you constantly choose easy things, when you constantly dim your light in a room, when you constantly are wearing those big sweatshirts and wearing those big shirts and not showing off your speech and not shining bright in a room that you don't feel confident in, you can't face the resistance of improving your speech. You can't face the ability to lose that weight because you just are going to choose the easy route, and that's to suppress yourself and lack the confidence that you've always wanted. But when you flip that script and when you choose the hard things and you work on your speech and you work on your physical body, whatever the case may be, the resistance also doesn't just show up in the gym, it shows up in your life. You are now more resistant to talking, you're more resistant to show off your body, right? Now you're capable of doing it more. You're more resistant of talking. You're more resistant to wearing clothes that you would never wear before, right? Whatever the case may be, you are capable of doing more because you resisted in the gym. And if you did the hard shit in the gym, why can't you do hard shit in real life, right? They go hand in hand. It's part of your reality now. So every single rep, is a resemblance of that. And your confidence grows when you face that friction willingly. You can't just, oh, let me wait for something hard to come up. No, you have to face it head on. You have to be uncomfortable on purpose, right? Comfort never built anything. Literally, building a muscle is you break it down and repair it. It's the same way with building your confidence. You have to face the uncomfortability head on, be uncomfortable with your physique, be uncomfortable with your speech, and face that head on. And it's going to grow that muscle of being able to shine bright with your body in a room or shine bright with whatever you may lack. The gym is going to be used as a tool. It can be used in any facet. It's just about how you show up every single day. So fourthly, when you start to get that payoff, right? So the goal is to let your physique become the living proof of the standards you now hold. So this is me again in high school. I'm fat, overweight. You can see it. Got man boobs, chunkier face. And here, this is about 3 or 4 years ago. So when I was a little skinnier, but I was lean. And I was again confident because I started to love who I was seeing in the mirror. I started to love the person I was becoming. I started to show up every single day, not for someone else, but for me. And that was the most important part. See, once you start to pour into yourself and you start to go through the first three stages, you are capable of doing so much more. So now the temple that you always wanted, the whatever the case may be, everything that you've always wanted starts to come up. All right, because a strong body is a reflection of strong decisions. This body was built based off hard things, right? Pushing the gym when I didn't want to push, picking up the 80-pound dumbbells rather than staying with the 55s for a few months, right? And this person right here, he didn't choose to work out. He'd show up to the gym for the external validation, but never actually did anything. This person right here, he would skip a workout because he wanted to go get high, right? And that is why I had this physique and I wasn't confident and I was wearing the extra big t-shirts. And that's why right here, I can stand out. I can be light. I can do whatever I feel free to do because I am confident and I built that person through strong decisions and making my body and mind strong, right? And this is the best part. You start to carry yourself differently. You start to speak differently. You start to walk differently. You literally shine bright, right? I remember vividly seeing people that I would see in high school, and it's just like I was a different person. And that's what they would say. The first thing, I didn't even recognize you. That's because I built and killed off the Isaiah that I never wanted to be. That's why you don't recognize me, because I made it a purpose to take out that person. And I did that by doing the hard decisions, by showing up every single day, by literally embracing the body that I hated, I embraced it and made it into the body I've always wanted, right? And now your external change is starting to show. That external change is starting to match the internal change that you've been working on for months, weeks, days, whatever the case may be. It is all worth it because in the end, once you enjoy the process and you're not so focused on the outcome, the internal change that you've been making starts to show out to your peers and it starts to feel so rewarding. And finally, the last step, the payoff has finally come. You're finally stepping into the version you've always wanted to be. See, right here, I was never the version I wanted to be. All right, I would smoke to hide from the uncomfortability I felt. I would smoke to hide from the lack of confidence I had, and I wouldn't be able to be sober to face the man I was in the mirror. But here, again, I started to face things head on. I grabbed life by the damn balls and started to show it who's its bitch. Right? I chose that life. And the self-image I started to create starts to catch up because I put in so much effort into this man right here that it started to show. So the image that you've always wanted to be, the confident individual that you always wanted to be, started to show up. Because every day that you showed up to the gym, every single day that you showed up to pick up that heavier weight, every single day that you ate that steak rather than going to Chick-fil-A, it shows up. It's just a matter of time making these consistent decisions. And you no longer have to chase validation. You create it, right? I don't have to go chase validation by pleasing people by getting them high. I don't have to go chase validation by showing up to the party even though I don't want to go to a party or hanging out with a friend when I don't want to hang out with a friend. I don't need that stuff anymore, right? I have the validation because I put the work in. It speaks for itself, right? You can now shine bright like you've always wanted to be. And you start to feel peace because you're aligned again with who your true purpose is and who you really are. Because before you were always dimming your light. You were always bringing yourself down, but now you are shining bright. and you're starting to feel the peace that you've always wanted to feel because of all the work that you put in the last few months. All right. And the confidence becomes who you are, not what you do. So now, instead of just over and over again waiting for that confidence to come, it just shows. It shows in the mirror, it shows in the mindset, it shows in everything that you've worked on in the last few months. And people are going to start to look at you, talk to you, and walk towards you differently. Right? It's all worth it in the end, but you have to remember you cannot give up. You have to put one foot in front of the other. And if you don't, then you're just gonna crash, right? Um, so I hope this video really helps somebody, because who I was 5 years ago, it's completely different, right? I was a man that was lost. I was deep in the darkness, constantly trying to climb myself out of this pit. And ultimately, it led me not to be the man I want to my kids to see. It led me not to be a man that I wanted to make my mother proud from, right? But now today, I can confidently say I am those two things. I am the man that my kids will look up to like a superhero. I'm the man that is making my mother proud to this day, and so on and so on. So if that sounds something that you guys would love to do, I have an offer for you. So I run an online coaching program to show you guys how to do this step by step, with a how to do every single thing in detail. If you want to stop being the person that's hiding in the room, hiding in the corner, dimming their light, and they constantly just can't figure out how to put two and two together, then I built something specifically for you guys. So if you guys are interested, click the first link in my bio. And if it does not work out, simply I would love to just plant the seed. I would just simply love to figure out how you can just go about things in a better light. All right. So I'm looking forward to speaking with all of you guys. God bless and have an amazing day. Peace out.